Hello and welcome to Heather and Hops. My name is Kat, or Catherine, and I'm a knitter based in Hertfordshire in the United Kingdom, and this is my little space where I've documented my fibre journey from my very first project through to now, where I've had the joy of cultivating many connections and I'm working on cultivating more of a sense of community and sharing knowledge in the fibre world. I hope this finds you very well. I feel okay today, which is good. I feel quite good. I have a cup of tea. For those who are new, it's lovely to welcome you here. My husband brews tea, blends tea for a living. He doesn't brew tea for a living. Blends tea for a living, and this is one of his blends. It's a lovely breakfast blend that I have most mornings, and this is the cup that I've just used forever, and I have it most mornings. I usually have 2 pints of tea or other herbal infusions. I would never have 2 pints of coffee anymore. It would be dangerous. Anyway, tangent. I hope that you have something to keep you company, whether that's a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a hot drink, cold drink, a knitting project, spinning project. I think today I was going to record a more traditional knitting journal podcast, but I think I fancy spinning, and this is a very short week. It was a bank holiday here in the UK, so Monday was a off work day, and sometimes I work through them, but we were with family, which was really, really lovely. I got to see my parents for the first time in quite some time. They have a new home that they are very much renovating, and I say renovating, I mean completely gutting and starting again. And it actually used to be a wool shop, which is quite cool. Yeah, so I thought instead of doing that, I might sit and spin for a little bit, have a cup of tea with you. Yeah, I should mention what I'm wearing. This is one that I wear lots and lots, and I love it very, very much. This is the Elf Mail, which is a pattern by Danny Meager, or Danny Knits Things. It is a gorgeous 2-colour project. It is a raglan that's knitted in the round from the top down. There are some short rows in the back. I knitted, I think, the smallest or second smallest size. I absolutely love this item. I don't remember, one of my older videos would give a lot more information on it, but I don't remember. I don't think I modified anything on the sleeves. I just added an inch of length in the body, and I used some of my own hand-dyed yarn, and I love these colours. This gold is one that I can replicate, but I don't currently have any stock or dye to be dyeing. But the under colour is a colourway that I called Ford, which I don't really have the recipe for. Ford, which is a reference to campaign 2 of Critical Role. A Critical Role and D&D advocate here. But I love this pattern so much, and I want to knit it again, but I always want to knit it again. So I might think about who I can gift one to. But I love the combination of yak, so the gold is a yak based yarn, so it's slightly heathered. There's a lot, well, not a lot, but there's quite a bit of silk in it, so it gives it an almost metallic feel, and I think that's just, yeah. So I love this jumper. I don't want to let this go cold. I've only had 1 cup of tea today. And I say only, but it is getting on. It's probably lunchtime. But I had some errands to do in town, and I thought I'd best get them done sooner than later and get my body moving a little bit. So the fibre that I have today is a gorgeous one that I received as like a mystery parcel in December or late November, and I panicked, so I think I emailed. So it's from Bellevue Fibres, who do honestly really breathtaking bats. The way that this bat and the previous one that I spun is brushed is just carded, brushed. Interchangeable maybe, but you don't card your hair, you just card. Anyway, Bellevue Fibres, it's absolutely stunning, and I received the parcel and I emailed saying maybe this is the wrong address, I'm not sure, and I couldn't figure out who sent it. And then it was so sweet, Mary Louise sent me a message and she sent me a very overwhelmingly beautiful box of this felt fibre, and this is the bat. It is it's called Rough Terrain Gradient Bat, and I think rough terrain's in reference to the colour, and a lot of Fellview Fibres bats and rolags are inspired by predominantly nature. Yeah, and this is just beautiful. And I recently finished my last spin on my drop spindle, and I just felt like I would like to do another project on my drop spindle. I have one project on my wheel at the moment. I've got a Pippi Polly, which sounds really funny to say, and it is adorable, affectionately called Pollywile at the moment. She's quite an old wheel, not you know, not hundreds of years old, but she's about 50 years old, and I really enjoy spinning on her. I've got a 100% BFL project that I'm working on at the moment, and my next project that I'm going to work on, I'm very excited because the lovely, I'll show you it when it goes on there, because otherwise we'll just waffle for the whole time. But I finished spinning the yarn that I had on this, we'll go back. So I finished spinning the fibre that I had on my Turkish spindle. I believe, I don't have too much information on it, but again, I can't believe all these have been sent, and I'm very grateful that I get to try these things and share, and I couldn't keep doing it without that, but also it's not necessary, and I've never asked. I hope that I don't come across like I ask for things. But I was sent a Turkish spindle and some gorgeous fibre from, I can't remember, Nutiden, and it was called Pheasant, and I was spinning it on the Turkish spindle, but I received this spindle and I don't know, I just love it, and I feel like you almost want to have, like I say this about needles too, you almost want to have a set of spindles that are like travelling, and maybe Crux Fibres is going to organise this, and maybe I'll talk to her about organising it in the UK, with the ones that I don't truly love, and not that they're bad, but for me this is the way I spin. This one's beautiful for me. I think this is a Bosworth spindle. So I was spinning the Pheasant Nutiden fibre on my Turkish spindle, and it was going slowly, and it is really it's really nice to use, but I found it really hard to get into a rhythm that felt natural to me. So I finished what I had on here previously, which I will get. This album, by the way, is amazing. I go on about this album a lot. This is the RX Bandits album, Gemini Her Majesty. I think that's the album title. But I listen to this a lot. Alex will vouch for that. He listens to it a lot too. Really good for running, really good for a relaxing time, really good for a bit of a dance. This is the fibre that I just finished. I do have the label for it and information, so I will try and put it on screen, but I can't remember. And I have just put that it's merino, yak and silk. And on this spindle I managed to get about 315 metres. I haven't re-skeined it yet to get a more accurate since I washed it, but 315 metres seems like one heck of a lot for 20 grams of fibre, but it's come out beautifully. I am leaving it as a singles. I feel like it would make a really good Pure Mesh Pullover by James N. Watts. It's just lovely. Oh, there is a little bit of neon fluff on there. Okay. Sort of the night sky. But yeah, so I finished this and I decided that it was time to finish the pheasant fibre, so I took it away with me when we went away at the weekend, and it's amazing how quickly it went because I was enjoying it so much. I did a little bit of knitting but predominantly spinning, and so I thought I would start this, and I've been really enjoying it so far. It's I've not done very much, and I tend to hold it in two different ways. This is I think probably more sensible or more comfortable, but I like to also hold it like this. Guess it doesn't make too much difference to me. This keeps the tail from getting caught into what I've pre-spun. But yeah, I guess I've probably not even done a gram of fibre, but I started this morning as a way of hopefully being able to have a chat with you. So I'll keep going and we'll see what happens. I think what I will do is try and continue to spin fairly fine. This is about where I'm at. I don't know. I'll just try and look at the screen to see if it's reading. Let's put that in front of my face. Didn't work. But yeah, I think I'm gonna 3-ply this. So use the chain method to keep the gradient together. So I'm gonna try and do my best to keep it in order as I'm taking off bits of the bat. And if I have to unwind, if it doesn't all fit on the spindle, I'll take it off and realign it when I come to ply it. And yeah, I think this, if I can get it fine enough so that it maybe turns out fingering or sport weight, I think it would be really fun to put it into some like gradient colour work. There's lots of good both hat and sort of jumper patterns that would be quite good for a gradient that is 50 grams of fibre, I imagine. Yeah. So it's been a good few weeks. I mean, I had a week in bed, which wasn't very nice. And prior to that, there'd been a lot going on that didn't make me feel very good. And I don't like to impart too much, and I just don't. I like to keep a little bit just for me and close friends and family, but there's been a lot going on that's made me feel a little bit off, and it's really nice this week and the end of last week particular to feel well and to have extra energy again. I was really not doing health-wise and just struggling with quite a lot of weight on my shoulders with things. So it's really nice to feel good and to feel kind of ready to get going. And with the sun coming out again and it being warmer, I took my spinning wheel outside at the weekend. So we went up to see my family on Sunday. So Friday and Saturday I did quite a bit of spinning outside, which was really nice. I forgot and didn't kind of comprehend, because I got my spinning wheel in winter, that it was something that I'd be able to do, and it's so good. I think I'll find myself doing a bit more spinning at home on my wheel in the summer and taking knitting or drop spindle projects out with me, just because, well, I don't, though my wheel is very light and quite easy to take, I don't think I want to be taking it away with me. So I'm going to make the most of having it in the garden when I can. Such a nice thing to do, and also you don't have the weight of sort of fibre on your lap. Not that I've always said I don't really mind knitting even on winter projects in the summer, but it is quite nice to not have anything on your lap while you are spinning outside. I'm going to readjust. Yeah, we went up to Sunday. We went to a place called Walberswick, which if you haven't been or you haven't heard of, do recommend. But it's a very lovely village. 400 people live there, near Southwold in East Anglia or Suffolk, and it's kind of it was predominantly a fishing village, but over the years it's sort of become more like Muswell-on-Sea and Muswell Hill-on-Sea. Muswell Hill is a place in London, and it has a very village feel for, you know, London, the big non-speaking to each other city. And it is pretty much the same people. A lot of people that would live in Muswell Hill would also have a holiday home or a weekend home in Walberswick, but there's still a mix of fisher folk there, and it's where my grandparents have had a home for a long time. They've lived there without living elsewhere for nearly 20 years, I think. Maybe it's more now. It's been a long time. And there's crabbing. I haven't been crabbing since I was a tiny little human, but there's crabbing there, and we sat out the front and had a picnic, which was really nice. Most of my extended family on my mum's side were there, and everyone, most people bought other food, so it was kind of like a picnic meets potluck dinner, which was really nice. We all just sat outside on camping chairs, saying hello to everyone that went past, and then we went for a nice little walk. We went on the evening. We went inland actually. We didn't go along the beach, which is unusual for us. We usually go straight to the beach. I've got some footage. Maybe I'll put in a bit of footage from both the beach before, and I'll show it while I'm talking, if you can believe it, and then at the end I'll put in some footage of our walk that we did go on, which was more sort of gorse land, and I think it often becomes marshland because of where it is. It's like in an inlet from the sea. And then on Monday morning we went to see my parents' new home in a place called Leiston. It's not a strange place, but it's got a nuclear power plant 2 miles away from it, which is a bit disconcerting, but it is what it is. And it's a beautiful home, and we went to see Leiston Abbey, did a little walk there, and I can't remember the name of the woods. We went to their local woods as well, so it was a really nice trip. It was quite quick to get as much in as we could, but we really wanted to both see my family, and we did think that Alex was going to have to work Saturday, but in the end he didn't, which was lucky. It was lucky, because it meant that we had a really nice long weekend, which feels like it's been ages since we've had, to be honest, and I know, it just feels like a long time. But I'm looking forward to this weekend too. We're seeing some more friends. Again, I think it'll only be a night or two that we're staying, but it's really exciting to be doing these things. And I've been singing its praises, and I think those that have chronic illnesses or illnesses that they have to manage, and even, I don't want to say the C word, but the long chronic COVID, it's kind of you realise how grateful you are for having energy to do things, whether that's small cooking dinner, but I finally, after years, have got more energy to see people and not constantly have to say no to, gonna lose it. There we go. To you know, friends inviting me out for coffee. I actually did go out for a coffee for the first time in a little while on Friday with a friend, a school teacher that I don't often get to see apart from on a Saturday when Alex is doing the park run. And it was quite nice to talk to her about it. I realised that my chronic illness now is at a point where it's not my personality. Whilst it's a part of what I have to navigate, it doesn't really define me quite as it was, and that's partly through management and like knowing how to manage my energy better and getting better. So it was quite nice to realise that I've actually had a couple of friends that I've met in the last 3 or 4 months that I've never once had to talk about it with. I haven't mentioned it because I haven't needed to until my latest flare-up, when I was like, oh yeah, I've just been in bed for a week, and they didn't know. So I'm quite grateful and quite, how would I say, going to more actively acknowledge those little feats if I can. I did actually say that I'm going to start trying to acknowledge more of the sort of micro interactions I have too. I'm reading a book called The Lonely Century at the moment, and I mentioned it last week, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's not all it's quite, I wouldn't say fact heavy, but it relies on a lot of research. Like almost every other sentence is noted in a bibliography and acknowledged, and I really enjoy that. And it comes at it discusses loneliness in our world from multiple perspectives, like the good things about technology, the kind of scary things about technology, and how we communicate. And it's kind of made me realise that actually just smiling at someone in the street can make such a difference, because it's that being seen, and without going into too much chronic illness, and I know a lot of people will understand, when you are unwell or you're not felt to be heard or seen, it makes it worse. It makes it 10 times worse. So just by trying to acknowledge and being acknowledged because of those micro interactions do make a difference. I've got there's a gentleman that lives on the way to where I go to get sort of most of my groceries, I guess, most of my fresh fruit, and I started smiling at him every morning, and now we actually have a little chat, and it's nice, because that walk is such a short walk, and I don't often get the chance to talk to people, but I do. I make a point of not putting my headphones on until I'm in the supermarket, because you can't really talk in the supermarket still at the moment, so that I can actually say hello and check in, and it's really nice. And actually Alex will laugh, because he knows near enough every time we go for a walk in our local park, I do make a point of seeing how many people I can either get to smile, say good morning or good afternoon, because I do think it makes a difference, and it makes a difference to me. I feel quite excited that I've been acknowledged, which, when you think about it, it's quite wild that we do live in a bit of a strange time, that especially being in London, you can literally walk past thousands of people without being acknowledged once, and if you do, the chances are you're either walking too slowly or too fast and you're in the way. So it's really nice to really make a conscious effort to do those things. Ooh, I'm going to hit pause. Show you how we're looking. It's coming out quite nicely. I'm going to try and make sure I get the right end. So I don't think... Do you know this is fine? It doesn't matter. I haven't mastered the art of spinning at all, nor joining. I'm getting better, but... Oh yeah, while I remember, in my last week's video, there is a giveaway. I don't think I put it as a title, maybe I did. But if you go, you don't have to watch it, I'll tell you how to enter, but you're welcome to watch it, and definitely go and have a read, because some of the stories are truly beautiful. It is for a beautiful skein of limited edition yarn from Dye Ninja, who is a retired dyer now, and the colourway is called Eva's Lippy. It's a beautiful bright red, like a really bright lipstick red, on a 50% Corriedale and a 50% British mohair base. And to enter, I'm asking for stories on your most special make that you've ever made, and if you're not a maker, if you don't knit or spin or sew, or then that's fine. You could a meal, you know. It's what's the most special thing you've ever made, whether that's for yourself or for a loved one. Some of the ones for loved ones are particularly gorgeous, and some of the ones for themselves are also gorgeous too. So if you would like to be in with a chance of winning that, please do go and comment and let me know. Give me them stories to read. Oh, I have a house cat. She doesn't live in the house, but I call her the house tiger because she's sort of a bit wild but also very sleepy. Audrey is her name, and she's just on the roof sitting among the brambles, but she's looking at me. Very sweet. Yeah, I am going to pull the names for that giveaway in my first video in May. So is that, I don't think that's next week, it's the one after, so there's a bit of time. Because I just want to read as many stories as I can. I really enjoy these sort of questions that are a bit more personal, and as someone who is quite emotional and sensitive, I find it quite powerful hearing about humans, you know, being both excellent to each other but themselves too. So, honestly, this is so satisfying and really nice. I didn't anticipate that talking with you and doing this would be quite so nice. Hopefully it's not strange that I'm looking down a bit, but I think this is helping me kind of get used to feeling more than having to look, which will do my eyes some good. So I'm aware that I do find myself looking at things quite close, quite a lot. Oh yeah, and also when I got home yesterday, I did a quick check-in on our Discord and had a message from, he's called Mighty Gamer Dad, who is a absolute Photoshop wizard, who I met through Ko-Fi. So Ko-Fi is a way that I've been able to sustain myself a little bit, but I say sustain myself, doing this with the support of other amazing makers and supporters that have gifted me coffee and connections, and also helped answer some questions over the last year and a half. And they have, the Ko-Fi company has a Discord as well. Within that there's a thread called Collaborate, and Mighty Gamer Dad posted saying that if anyone has any photos that they'd be happy to let him manipulate, then get in touch. So I hesitated for quite a while. I don't know why. I just felt like it's a bit, I couldn't really think of anything, and then I remembered my Lordna pictures, and Lordna is a character from Critical Role in the most recent campaign. She's a spooky spooky warlock sorcerer character that was created by Marisha Ray. And when I saw the official artwork for her, I just really wanted to knit her top, so I did. And then I knitted her little raven skulled rat called Pate de Rolo. And so I thought, wow, I may as well dress up a little bit and take some pictures. And I did, and they're very gentle cosplay pictures. But I don't know, I was like, actually, maybe I should talk to him about these. So I did, I sent him a message, and I think it was quite novel to have higher quality images. Not that I take beautiful pictures, but I do shoot most photos in a raw format. Oh, you might hear that is Audrey with her spring. Huh? You wanting to play, Trouble? Yep. I'm gonna put this down, and I'm gonna give little Audrey 5 minutes of my attention. What's this? This is little Audrey, isn't it? Oh, she does cuddles a lot, but she doesn't do being picked up, in case you hadn't realised. This is good. I use knitting needles in my hair that I cut off. I just do. Feels quite a bit nicer than a lot of hair clips and hair bands for extended periods of time. But also a bit of chaos. And we love the chaos here. Don't we, Audrey? Yeah. I am looking at, for this, I'm trying to spin fairly fine with the hope of getting used to spinning even finer on my wheel, because my next spin will be for a pair of socks, hopefully, and I really want to be able to achieve a nice fingering light sport weight in a 3-ply. I just think 3-ply will be a little bit stronger, a little bit harder wearing for socks. And it will be no nylon, which is exciting too. And I can't wait to show you the bat. And I think I'll show you next. Well, hopefully I'll have done enough spinning to get my current spin off of my spinning wheel and be getting ready to start on this new one. Yeah. I'd really like to know what people are making. I've been thinking and coming back to sort of the sense of community and connections. I'm really excited to do a bit more knit night again. I do find it, I have to say, I know like most of us, I do get burnt out a little bit from screen time. So I find it quite hard to be at a screen in the evening after having been at a screen all day. I do want to do more because I so love hearing about projects in real life. And by real life I do mean even on pixels. It's not quite the same as in real life, which my friend who I went for coffee with on Friday did have her in real life knitting project, which was very exciting to, you know, chat about. But I do want to hear more about what other people are making. I talk about this as well in the past. I find Instagram I try my best with it. I enjoy sharing on it and the chatting. I can find it quite overwhelming if I'm on it for an extended period of time or even a couple of minutes, because there's so much information given so quickly. I don't feel like I get enough about projects, and I do try and give information about what I'm doing on there, but again, it's a worry of overwhelming people, and I don't want to add to the already quite overwhelming nature of the pace that we don't all live in, but a lot of us live in. Yeah. I have a cheeky summer project on the go at the moment, knitting. A pair of, I can tell you they're a pair of shorts. I think that's all I can tell you at the moment. But I'm very excited to wear them. I haven't knitted shorts apart from for like the bottom half of a play suit that I knitted using cotton yarn, which should actually get that out. I've put all my, not all, like I've got a lot, I've put a lot of my summer clothes away and I haven't got them out yet, but I probably should, because it'd be quite nice to wear that play suit actually. It's like a pearl grey, pearly blue kind of duck egg. I think it's called a play suit. A play suit's a short version of a jumpsuit, right? But it's short and it's got a little tie string halter neck and also at the waist. It's great at this time of year. Yeah, I would even wear it with tights. Yeah, but I am looking forward to have a proper pair of shorts, and I definitely have a thing for lime green. I've always had a thing for greens, but I do have a bit of a love affair developing with lime green at the moment, and they are lime green shorts. Yeah. It's very satisfying. Definitely haven't I definitely should spend some time watching some videos again on how to spin on a drop spindle, sort of from other more qualified long time spinners. It's definitely about time that I've figured out how I find it comfortable for me, but how I can maybe improve, or little tips and tricks. And I find that watching and listening to not just one or two but multiple different makers is really beneficial, because you learn, even if the same thing's being explained, sometimes just having it said in a different way makes something click. I guess that's true about a lot of things, but I really find it's useful, so I think I might do a little bit of research this afternoon while I edit. Listen to Hey Trouble, little Mai's come back. She's very good with my drop spindle actually. She doesn't get in the way. She's aware that it's like a moving object. She just looks at it. Yeah. Got some fun things on the horizon actually. I'm hoping to catch up with Susan, who is the organiser, creator behind the Journal of Scottish Yarn, which is very exciting. I think part of the first publication is Susan learning to spin, which is really quite exciting, and I'm kind of hoping to have a little chat about all the other things that are going in it. I know that I think quite a few of the designs have now been put up on Instagram. I think there's quite a few designs in it, but anyway, it's quite fun. It's quite fun knowing that, again, it just melts my brain that an idea that you have in your head can be turned into numbers and words, and someone else can then recreate it. It's just, I know that it's been there for years in forms of recipes or even patterns for knitting, but being able to do that yourself, it's really quite cool. Like, it really is. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the future, and I'm quite grateful for this little slow time to sit and chat with you too. It's been a pleasure, I think. I should go and entertain the cat, who is now eating her crunchies, which might make a lot of sound. So I'm going to leave it here for now. So this is where we're at. It's coming up lovely. It's not too fine, I don't think, but it's quite fine. The colour is absolutely gorgeous. I'm quite excited. Just sitting. Yeah. Beautiful. So yeah, I'm grateful that you decided to stick around and spend some time with me today. I hope that whatever the rest of your day, your evening holds, that it brings you some joy. I hope that your week brings you some joy. I hope that you find a little moment to really find that connection. Maybe challenge yourself to smile or say hello to someone in the street, or opt to use a less contactless form of, whether it's collecting food direct or talking to someone at a checkout. I don't know. Just, I urge you to try and treat yourself to an extra connection, a little bit of communication in the next week. I hope that you do find that joy. I hope that whatever projects you're making does bring you some smiles too. I think I'm going to knit a baby jumper this week. We'll see. For a dear friend who is having a baby, who affectionately our group has already given a name. So I've got that to do. Yeah, a little bit of waffle, a little bit of chit chat, a little bit of pondering. I hope that I get to see you again very soon. Don't forget to love each other.